Welcome back to the Professor's Lab. I'm Professor V, and this is round one of our league challenge that happened at Die Hard Games on March 13th, 2025. If you didn't know, Die Hard League happens every Thursday at 6 p.m. Central, featuring casual and tournament play of whatever format everyone wants. League Cup, March 29th at 12 p.m. Central at Die Hard Games. Go see more info in this video's description and check out Pokemon's event locator for premiere and other events at the shop, such as league challenges, league cups, pre-releases, and more. Please hit that like button right quick, subscribe to this channel, ring the bell for notifications, say what you need to say in the comments, and all that other good free stuff. But anyways, let's research this game. On the left, we have Walls Control. On the right, we have Dragapult. Our Dragapult player on the right is going first, and they're starting off with that Buddy Buddy Poffin in order to search out of the deck to put onto the bench two basic Pokemon with 70 HP or less. Budu and Dreepy fit that criteria here. Hopefully there's another Dreepy in hand, because maybe you grab another Dreepy instead of the Budu since you're not attacking here. Either way, the player is going to attach a Fire Energy to the bench Dreepy. That's good to see on turn one, and then just a pass over to our Phoebos player, our Walls player here. Phoebos in the active, benching Mimikyu, attaching a Water Energy to the active Phoebos. Debating on attaching this pink cape here, but gonna forgo it and uses Phoebos's attack to evolve. I'll go ahead and research this here in the lab for you all. Phoebos has an attack. It's that one. Ascension. Okay, that must be what it is. Search your deck for a card that evolves from this Pokemon and put it onto the Pokemon to evolve it. Let's double check that Phoebos art right there. And it's got a couple attacks, doesn't it? With a yellow border. Oh yeah, it's definitely the Ascension Phoebos. Yep, so search your deck for a card that evolves from this Pokemon and put it onto this Pokemon to evolve it. Then shuffle your deck. That is the attack for the turn. So we see that dreaded Milotic EX come into play. The Milotic EX, of course, has the Sparkling Scales ability, prevent all damage from and effects of attacks from your opponent's Terra Pokemon done to this Pokemon. The Dragapult EX is a Terra Pokemon, so this ability will be relevant there as our Dragapult player starts their turn by reading that Milotic EX ability, Sparkling Scales, again, to try to readjust their game plan from the usual get to Dragapult and start attacking as soon as possible, since the Milotic EX Sparkling Scales will not take damage from the Terra Dragapult EX, and it looks like it's just a pass from our Dragapult player back to our Control Walls player here on the left. Benching a Palkia V, just so that way they can attach a Forest Seal Stone tool to it that gives it the V-Star Power ability, Star Alchemy, and we see that ability used right now, flipping that V-Star marker over and searching the deck for any card that ability does. Double Turbo Energy is found and attached to the active Milotic EX, so that way it can use its Hypno Slash attack, 160 damage, and your opponent's active Pokemon's now asleep. Of course, it's 140 thanks to the Double Turbo Energy minus 20 reduction, more than enough to KO the opposing Duskull. Free Retreater, Budu moves into the active spot on the right-hand side and play resumes there. Pheasantipity EX is put onto the bench now. Flip the Script is live, but not before a Temple of Sinnoh gets put into play, turning all special energy in play to just a single colorless energy. Dracloak evolves on the bench and uses its ability to look at the top two cards, put one into the hand and the other at the bottom of the deck. Now Pheasantipity EX will use Flip the Script to draw three cards since the opponent took a KO on their last turn. Seeing all the options in hand, our Dragapult player on the right is, but what can they do against this Milotic EX? They put down the Radiant Alakazam for future use, attach a Psychic Energy to the Dracloak on the bench. counter catcher is live since the opponent has fewer prize cards remaining. That acts like a boss's orders, bringing up the Mimikyu from the bench into the active spot just to try to slow the opponent down. And then to further do that, Budu uses its Itchy Pollen attack. It can do that for free. It does 10 damage to the opposing Pokemon, and then the opponent cannot play items from their hand on their next turn here as they get things started. All right, Palkia evolves into Palkia V-Star, just in case energy needs to be accelerated later from the discard water energy, or the Palkia V-Star could get in there as a solid attacker as well. Then Iono is played. Both players shuffle their hands, put them at the bottom of their decks, and then draw cards from the top equal to their remaining prize cards. Both players getting 6 here, of course. Watch out for the items being played. None can be played here as water energy is attached to the active Mimikyu. Now it can retreat if the player so chooses. And just a pass. Back over to our Dragapult player. Saying, okay, you got this Mimikyu active, but how are you going to take it out? You can take it out with the Dracloak, I suppose. Mimikyu has the Safeguard ability, we should say. Prevent all damage done to this Pokemon by attacks from your opponent's Pokemon EX and Pokemon V. So the Dragapult cannot touch the Mimikyu, at least in the active spot. So we're going to Dracloak, Recon Directive ability, look at the top 2 cards of the deck, put one into the hand, and put the other at the bottom. Going to keep that Blood Moon Ursaluna. That can attack the Milotic EX. It cannot touch the Mimikyu, however, thanks to its Safeguard ability, and Blood Moon Ursaluna EX being an EX Pokemon. It looks like Radiant Alakazam used its Painful Spoons ability to move a damage counter from the active Mimikyu to the bench Milotic EX. That's the way to get damage on the Milotic EX as another Dreepy is put onto the bench. And then Lance is played. That supporter card allows the player to search their deck for up to 3 dragon Pokemon and put them into their hand. Dracloak and Dragapult EX are searched out of the deck thanks to that Elite Four leader. We're getting things shuffled up and getting ready for our next move now. No flip the script this turn. So do we go in and take out the Mimikyu with the Dracloak is the question. Blood Moon Ursaluna EX put onto the bench. Energy attached to it. I don't think there was already an energy attached this turn. Let me go back and confirm that here. Looks like that's the start of the turn. Then Dracloak had the 2 energy. So yep, we're good to go on the Blood Moon Ursaluna energy attachment here. Sorry for not keeping track like I should be. Anything else, either Itchy Pollen attack or Dracloak attack. We're actually going to retreat for free into the Dracloak and use that Dragon Headbutt for 70 damage to KO that Mimikyu for the first prize card for our Dragapult player. Milotic EX slithers into the active spot on the left-hand side and play resumes there, starting with an Earthen Vessel. The item card has you discard a card in order to search the deck for up to 2 basic energy cards to put into your hand. Double Water being found off of this vessel here. Also discarding the Noibat there, as that line is not needed in this matchup, our player determines. Water energy attached to the active Milotic EX. Now its Hypno Splash attack is powered up since the Temple of Sinnoh is in play, making that double turbo energy just a single colorless energy. We needed that attachment to attack with Milotic EX this turn. Nest Ball is played next in order to search the deck for a basic Pokemon to put onto the bench. And another control wall is found in that Cornerstone Mask Ogerpon. That one has the Cornerstone Stance ability. Prevent all damage from attacks done to this Pokemon by your opponent's Pokemon that have an ability. That will wall out the Blood Moon Ursaluna, our control player, having all the answers here as the Milotic attacks and takes another KO. Going down to 4 prize cards here. Now our Dragapult player is trying to decide who to promote. Usually it's the free retreater as a quick rule, but they're going to go with the Blood Moon Ursaluna into the active spot here. Draw their card and assess their hand and try to figure out what to do. Since there was a KO, start off with Pheasantipity EX, flip the script, draw 3 cards, since the opponent took a KO, of course. Basic switch moves that Blood Moon Ursaluna to the bench, moving the Budu active there. It could have saved that switch resource by just promoting the Budu in the first place, but I didn't know what was in the player's hand or what their strategy was, so we'll move forward as a Dracloak is evolved on the bench now, and Arven is played. Now, maybe a sequencing thing here, but maybe I would have liked to have seen the Dracloak ability be used first to try to draw maybe one of the pieces that Arven would find, and then you can Arven afterwards to search out whatever else is needed after the recon directive. But just a small thing and potentially not even correct, as our player is resolving this Arven supporter, searching for an item and a tool card from the deck to add to hand. The item seems to be Nest Ball and tool as Rescue Board. Building up the options in hand, but how do we take out this Melotic? You can swing on it eventually with the Blood Moon Ursaluna. We could talk about Blood Moon Ursaluna and its ability here. Blood Moon Ursaluna has the season skill ability. Blood Moon, its attack, Blood Moon, used by this Pokemon, cost a colorless less for each prize card your opponent has taken. And it has the Blood Moon attack for 5 colorless energy, 240 damage during your next turn. This Pokemon can't attack. So the thing to keep in mind is that when the opponent gets down to like 2 prize cards, Blood Moon cost 1 colorless energy to attack with, thanks to season skill. When the opponent's down to 5 prize cards taken, 1 prize card remaining, they can use Blood Moon for free on that Blood Moon Ursaluna EX. But the opponent has 4 prize cards right now. Blood Moon has 1 attached. It's going to be pretty hard, if not impossible, to attack with this Blood Moon into this Melodic EX this turn. So another nest ball, or the nest ball, excuse me, is played. Search the deck for a basic Pokemon to put onto the bench, and they're going to pluck out that Halloween Mimikyu of their own to put onto the bench. Just thinning the deck out, I think our opponent is doing there. It will block the, I guess, any of the opposing EX and V attacks if needed. And they're just going to go in with another Budu, Itchy Pollen, 10 damage, and the opponent cannot play items this turn. Water energy attached to the Cornerstone Ogerpon on the bench, and then the Melodic EX uses its Hypno Splash attack to KO the opposing Budu for another prize card. So now with 3 prize cards remaining, all the Blood Moon needs, Blood Moon Ursaluna EX needs is another energy attached, and I think it could start swinging. Yep, with Blood Moon. We'll see what our Dragapult player decides to do. First, a recon directive, looking at the top 2, keeping 1, putting the other to the bottom. Arven was found there, so we have a supporter for turn. Really, they'd want to play an Iono, I think, this turn to disrupt their opponent and put their hand size a little lower. But next is Pheasantipity EX. Since there was a KO on the opponent's last turn, draw 3 cards, thanks to flip the script. Our players assessing the board here, trying to download as much info as they can to better inform their next decisions and how to proceed with this game and claim victory for their own. Duskull is put onto the bench now on the right-hand side. We're just getting those coins in there as ability used markers. Our opponent, or excuse me, our Dragapult player tries to decide what is the next best move here. The bench is full, so no more Pokemon can be put down. Attaching a fire energy to the bench Mimikyu, and then just a pass. Okay, let me see if they could have attacked with that Blood Moon here. Costs a colorless less. The opponent's taken 3. 1, 2, 3. So yeah, Blood Moon could have been used here for 2 energy attachments. So if we attach that fire to the Blood Moon, we could attack and would we knock out the Milotic? 24, 25, 26. Nope, we'd leave it with 10 damage left, but at least we'd be putting on a lot of pressure. So that's probably what I would have done, but like I said, I don't know what was in the player's hand or what their strategy is. They may know something I don't, as they have more access to more info than I do, and I'm just chilling in the professor's lab enjoying the game. So our control player on the left will proceed with their next turn here, and they start things off with an Arvin. That supporter card has them look for 2 cards, an item and a supporter from the deck to put into the hand. Earthen Vessel is the item, and Hero's Cape is the tool card that will be added to the hand thanks to the Arvin. Discarding Technical Machine Evolution from the hand as the cost of the Earthen Vessel that is being played. Search the deck for up to 2 basic energy cards to put into the hand. Fighting and Water energy are found and put into the hand off of this Earthen Vessel this time. Fighting energy attached to the bench, Cornerstone, Mask, Ogre Pawnee EX, and the Hero's Cape pink Ace Spec card tool attached to the Melodic EX, giving it plus 100 HP. So it's sitting at, what, 27 base, minus 20, 350 that Melodic has for HP currently. And then it attacks for 160 damage with its Hypno Splash. And then the opposing Blood Moon is now asleep. The switch was used by the Dragapult player earlier, so it's going to be even more difficult for them to try to maneuver this Blood Moon Ursaluna around. As they flip for sleep, it looks like it was heads, so the Blood Moon will wake up, and then play will resume over on the right-hand side. Pretty big hand our Dragapult player has, but do they have the answers there? As rescue boards attached to the active Blood Moon Ursaluna, giving it -1 to its retreat cost. And what is its retreat cost? Normally is 3. So it can manually retreat since it woke up, as is. Oh no, I think you gotta attach again and retreat. All right, Crispin is the supporter that's being used now. It looks like there was only 1 energy in deck. Normally, Crispin would put an energy in hand and then accelerate an energy from the deck, getting effectively 2 energy out of the deck. But since there was only 1, that psychic energy has to go to hand. No energy accelerated off of the Crispin this time. I think we have to protect this Blood Moon Ursaluna. We gotta move it to the bench and just push the Mimikyu with the safeguard ability and hope that buys you much needed turn here. Recon Directive is next. Off of that Dracloak, looking at the top 2, keeping one of the cards and putting the other at the bottom of the deck, and then Jamming Tower is found and put into the play as the replacement stadium. That now, remember, the special energy is no longer affected because the Temple of Sinnoh left play thanks to the Jamming Tower coming down, and Jamming Tower says tools in play have no effect. So Rescue Board has no effect currently. as well as the hero's cape. Dusclops is evolved on the bench, and Curse Blast is used, knocking out itself the Dusclops. The opponent takes a prize card in order to put 5 damage counters on one of the opponent's Pokemon. It'll probably be the Melodic EX, as that's the current biggest threat, even though all 3 Pokemon on the other side are a threat. That one is the most, I suppose, with our Control Walls player going down the 2 prize cards here in this potential endgame of our round 1 of the challenge. Our Dragapult player assessing the opponent's board, they're probably not used to seeing a Walls control deck like this or even playing against it. So they attach a Psychic Energy to the active Blood Moon. Will they attack with it? No, they are just going to retreat. Okay, I'm not sure if this is going to get corrected here or not. Looks like we're towards the end of our video regardless. Blood Moon does have a 3 retreat cost, and either the Blood Moon trainer forgot that the jamming tower was in play, making the rescue board a blank card, or they thought the Blood Moon's retreat was 2. So they should not have been able to retreat for 2 energy there, basically. I don't think they did it on purpose. Both players are responsible for board state anyway, so the opponent should have caught it as well. But I don't think nothing malicious is going on here. And just for the sake of the video, we'll move forward. I don't think it would really impact the outcome of this game. As, yeah, that Blood Moon could have attacked and knocked out this Melodic EX thanks to the Deuce Skull and the jamming tower, right? Oh yeah. Yeah, so interesting play by our Dragapult player here. Like I said, for sake of the video, we'll move forward. I don't think it's going to matter anyways. I don't think anything malicious going on. Both players are responsible for board state. Blood Moon Ursaluna retreats into Mimikyu and pass back over to our left-hand side control player here as they attach a water energy to the Cornerstone Mask Ogerpon EX on the bench. They will now retreat this Melodic. Yep, manually into the Cornerstone Mask Ogerpon with its Cornerstone stance ability, protection from damage from Pokemon that have an ability, and it also has the Demolish attack, 140 damage. This attack isn't affected by weakness or resistance or by any effects on your opponent's active Pokemon. Either way, knocks out the Mimikyu, yes, because it says this attack's damage isn't affected by weakness or resistance or by any effects on your opponent's active Pokemon. So that can hit through the safeguard here. Taking the KO, going down the 1 prize, promoting the Blood Moon Ursaluna EX again on the right-hand side. Dragapult side, what can they do to claw back into this game? Radiant Alakazam, Painful Spoons moves some damage counters from the Melodic EX to the Ogerpon, and they've had enough of here. See the writing on the wall. Looks like they feel they cannot come back into this round 1 and offers the concession to our control player here. What do you all think of this video in the commentary? Please leave feedback in the comments. Like this video, subscribe to this channel. Thank you for watching. Thank you to our players for letting their game be captured so we can all learn and enjoy. And I'll see you next time in the professor's lab.